Hello friends, we are dealing with here with various complex regulations. So far we have heard. Now this one is the chapter on FSI is not only easy but interesting to understand if we read it carefully. Next. Here we are going to look about 7 topics. First 15 or 17 slides are for the first 4 topics, and if we get time, we'll go for the 3 topics, next 3 topics, or otherwise that you can read on your own. Those are easy to understand, but this will require little more time. So let's go. The first topic is FSI, and here we have the table for FSI. The first column will be the area, your area, island city and the suburbs, your zone, residential, commercial or industrial. How much area, how much FSI you can get without paying any premium, that is called basic FSI. Then how much FSI you can load by adding some additional FSI with premium or with buying the TDR, that is column number 5 and 6. And last is permissible FSI for the general development. I am using the word general development because there are many instances where this FSI or this permissible FSI in the column number 7 will be exceeded. So we have to remember this table number 12 and column number 7, which we can exceed in certain cases. So there are 3 main issues in this table. First one is green color, second one is yellow color, and third one is red color. The first one is island city FSI, that was 1.33 earlier. It is the same, maintained same. But what is the addition is the additional FSI with premium is now allowed and TDR is allowed in island city. Thereby we can go up to 2 FSI in the island city. Good. Second is the suburban area, the yellow band. There is no change at all, so it's a bad point. And third is, if you can see, that's at the bottom, that's the industrial area. So earlier TDR utilization was permitted in this industrial area, and that is why 1 plus 1 we used to get 2 FSI. But now we will have to be satisfied with 1 FSI only. Probably the planners don't want industry to thrive or industry to expand. Next slide please. So what are the main issues we saw in the FSI table? So the first point, positive 2 points are there. Both points are for the island city. The permissible FSI and premium FSI and TDR utilization is now permitted in the island city. Permissible FSI is increased from 1.33 to 2 in the island city. These are the good 2 points what we can note in the table. There are 2 bad points or negative points both are for the suburbs. Not even marginal increase is there in the suburban FSI, and TDR utilization has been stopped for the suburbs. So basically, I don't know, there is no manufacturing industry left in Mumbai. All are service industry, and that is the backbone of the cities. For cities functioning, we need service industry. So we should put a suggestion that we have to reinstate the TDR utilization for the industrial zone in the suburbs, which was permitted in the 1991 DC regulation. And I appeal you all that you should put up this suggestion. Next please. Now we saw the first topic, that was about the FSI. Now second topic is about the competition of the FSI. So this regulation is about how to compute the FSI. The permissible FSI will be now computed on the gross plot area, not on the net plot area. So whatever the reservation or something is affecting you on the plot, so that net of that area will be considered now for the FSI computation. Next slide please. Why this concept of gross plot area? If I am buying a plot of 1000 square meter, I should get 1000 square meter built up area or whatever FSI rates are there for that much area. Along with me, if 5 people are buying 1000 square meter plot, if they are getting 1000 square meter benefit, because of the DP, my benefit should not be curtailed. That is the concept for the gross plot area. So because of DP, if the 1000 square meter plot, and if there is a reservation of 300 square meter, some reservation or setback is there, so I am getting just benefit of 1000 minus 300, 700 net plot area. So my single FSI will be only 700, or without any premium I am just getting 700. That's not fair. If the gross plot concept is followed, then we will get 1000 square meter built up area. Okay, next slide please. The next concept we need to know is the over and above permissible FSI concept. So on 1000 square meter plot, the person who is not having any reservation, he can utilize entire plot for the 1000 square meter. Whereas the person who is having reservation, now he is surrendering the land to the corporation because he is deprived of his land, or some land is taken away from him. So apart from his basic right of 1000, he should be compensated with some additional benefit in form of FSI over and above the permissible FSI. That's the concept. That's the next concept. Once we understand these two concepts, then it will be easy for us to understand the further regulations. Next, please. Reservation, setback, advantage, whatever we hand over to corporation, that will be permissible over and above the permissible FSI of 2. So here we are taking example of a 1000 square meter plot in suburbs. So their FSI is 1 and total permissible FSI is 2. So earlier scenario, when this 1000 square meter plot was affected by some 300 square meter reservation, so we were getting the 700 as the net plot area or the zonal FSI that much, and equivalent amount of TDR we could load. So the maximum permissible FSI was 1400 earlier, whereas now, as per the new DCR, you can see that you are getting the gross plot benefit of 1000. Again, same TDR permissible will be 1000, and over and above this, whatever FSI, whatever setback area you are handing over to corporation, that benefit of 300. So you are getting 2300. So you can see the huge jump, 1400 to 2300, almost 50% jump in the FSI that has been granted. Next slide, please. Okay, we saw the 1000 square meter plot, that was big plot. Suppose the plot is small and it gets affected by reservation and it gets further small. So now here we will not, some people will not be able to construct even the zonal FSI due to planning constraint. Such people will be granted TDR to the extent of unconsumed built up area. Of course, there is a rider attached to it, then no premium FSI or TDR utilization will be allowed in such cases. Next slide, please. The gross plot will include amenity plot or inclusive housing plots. So whatever the physical provisions are required as per DC regulation. So we can just straight away go into 2024 regulation. So there we are, say suppose plot area is 6,000 square meter. So as per plot area, we are required to leave 20% recreation open space and 5% public open space. So this will not be deducted from the gross plot area, and the whole gross plot area will be considered. Further, if plot area is 6,000 square meter, we have to leave amenity, inclusive housing plot also we have to give. So that if we are providing a plot, that will not be deducted from the gross plot area, and the plot area of the FSI completion will be 6,000 again. But many a times builder will not give that plot, they will be giving the corporation inclusive housing tenements. So these tenements are not counted in FSI. But the difference between 91 DCR and 2034 DCR, the main difference is when you are constructing the inclusive housing tenements, so that tenement into some formula is there, say up to 40% of that tenement area will be granted to you as an incentive FSI over and above built up area of 2. So when we consider this example of 6,000 square meter, so in earlier DCR we were getting 5,100 plus 6,000, that is 11,100 built up area, whereas as per the new DC regulation, you are getting 6,000 zonal FSI and 6,000 TDR plus about 480, that is 6,000 into 20%, that much will be your amenity, that much will be your inclusive housing tenement area, that into 40%, roughly it will be for 480 square meter. So in all you are getting 12,480 square meter. So we have seen 1,000 square meter plot and 6,000 square meter plot. You are getting more FSI in 2034 DCR. Next. Okay, there are some conditions about handing over, and whatever built up amenity you are handing over, that will be FSI against that will be allowed only after handing over, and you can utilize that FSI even before availing your TDR or FSI component, premium FSI. Next, please. This is good solution or good regulation wherein we can use any combination of premium FSI and TDR. Someone said just before that what will be the TDR rates. Now you have option. You can either use entire one TDR or entire one a premium FSI, and since both are linked to the ready reckoner rate, so that is 60% of the ready reckoner. So probably the TDR rate might be little less than the 0.60 of the ready reckoner rate. Next. ओके आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत सारा मिल गया, बट आपको बहुत सारे उसके साथ में कंडीशन भी फॉलो करनी पड़ेगी. देयर इज डेवलपमेंट सरचार्ज इक्विवेलेंट टू डेवलपमेंट चार्जेस व्हाट यू आर पेइंग दैट विल बी एप्लीकेबल ऑन द built up area over and above basic FSI. Then some regulation has put up some responsibility on the owner to clear up the encumbrances and to complete formalities for transferring the land to MCGM. Now here I bring to your notice that there is a recent court judgment wherein it was held that whatever the encumbrances is there within the road line, that needs to be cleared off by the corporation. It's corporation's responsibility, not the owner's responsibility. Further, as per the set practice, whenever there is a property transaction, buyer and sellers are there, so it's the receiver or the buyer completes the formality of the transaction. So here the corporation is putting the onus on the owner. That is not good. Another regulation has put the restriction of CC 50% of the basic FSI. The CC will be restricted for handing over the amenity. But this case, you can just consider 10,000 square meter plot and amenity to be handed over is just 100 square meter, and your 5,000 square meter plot will be, or CC will be withheld. That is not good. So present practice is there. Whatever the amenity area to be handed over, that should be continued. Next slide, please. This is another interesting example wherein you have a big plot or 2-3 plots together, and there are 2-3 different FSI schemes can be worked out. Probably you can have old building, 30 years old building, you can go in 3322 regulation, and wherein probably you are getting 3 FSI or so. Some of your plot can go for regular FSI and some of your plot can go for commercial development or 4 FSI. So you can club these regulations and respective whatever FSI is there, that will be utilized for development. So you can club the regulations, that is this regulation allows it, but there is a mistake in drafting this regulation. They have put the word any of the applicable regulation. That means whatever FSI permissible in list of the FSI permissible will be given to you. So that needs to be replaced and that needs to be corrected. So we are putting up an objection for this word any of the. So you also put up that objection. That's it. Next. Okay, I will skip the upper one, and the next one is this note below 30A. That is the cases many people will be facing, that they have handed over the setback to the corporation, and the procedure of putting the corporation's name on the property card is balanced. In such cases, whether they will get gross plot area, FSI on the gross plot area, or FSI on the net plot area, that need they want to know. But here you have to read this regulation very carefully. There are 2 conditions attached: either merged or handed over to MCGM. That is one condition. And where FSI benefit is availed, or whether FSI benefit is already taken and ownership is not transferred to MCGM, that is second condition. If you are fulfilling both the conditions, then you will get the FSI on the net plot area. If you are fulfilling just one condition, that you have just handed over the built up area setback to the BMC and you have not taken any FSI benefit for that, in that case you will be getting gross plot area for the FSI computation. So that's a good thing. So with that tip, you can go ahead till the new DC rule is finalized. Don't avail any setback benefit. Okay, next please. So we have completed the first chapter, that was FSI computation. Now this is the tenement density, which is kept same as the earlier DC rule. However, we feel that there should not be any limitation to the tenement sizes or the housing sizes, because this tenement density dictates us to keep certain sizes of the houses, but let market forces should decide it. Next please. The last topic in the FSI chapter is the protected development. This is for the existing buildings. Suppose in the city area you have small plot and 3 or 4 FSIs already used. So that much FSI remains protected even if it is going beyond 2. Another is the educational building or IT building which has availed additional FSI earlier. Now they come for redevelopment after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So that remains, whatever area they have availed earlier, that remains protected. About this, of course there is a rider attached to it that user should be continued, because if the you have availed the FSI for the educational purpose, and later on you want to convert that building into commercial building, that will not be allowed. Okay. Next is about the ongoing proposal. You can avail the balance development right by adjusting the payments made earlier. This is a very good regulation, because if you see the open spaces requirement H/3 to H/4, so there is a huge difference between the premium or the deficiency what we are paying to corporation. Earlier the deficiency was working in crores rupees, now probably it may go to lakhs of rupees. So you can adjust the payments made earlier for the existing or ongoing development. Last point among this is additional utilization of development rights where the buildings are existing. The buildings are existing means where the occupation certificate is granted or which, for which BMC has levied the property tax. Those are treated as a existing building for this regulation. So for them, for such plots, those who are having such kind of building, land component will have to be deducted as per then prevailing regulation. So if the building was constructed in prior to 91, you have to apply the land component as per then prevailing regulation. If it was constructed after 91, say 1.85 was the permissible FSI after 91 DC regulation. So you have to find the land component or work out the land component as per the applicable regulation. So probably if the intended formula might be the whatever FSI is consumed in the existing building, that divided by maximum permissible FSI as per the prevailing regulation, that will give you the land component that you have to deduct, and rest of the development can take place with the new regulation. Next please. Next please. Yeah. Here we see the plot. There are 3 buildings and this is the ongoing development. One building in the red that has got the OC, so that's the existing building. Building B is under construction and building C is yet proposed building, yet to be constructed. The plot area was 3,900, that is we have assumed for the example purpose. So earlier that was getting 3,900 into 1.85, 7,200 FSI. This was the ones allocated to 3 buildings, about 2,500 each. Now when this building has got completed the development for building A, now building B is under construction, building C. So for B and C we want to avail the benefit of the new DCR or the new DC regulation. In that case we will have to deduct the land component of the building A. So that is, if 2600 was the FSI, 2600 divided by 1.85, that is the land component of the existing building A. That will have to be deducted from the gross plot area. Whatever the remaining plot area is there, to that multiply whatever FSI you are having. So 2500 is the remaining plot area, that into 2 FSI, that will give you 5000. Now from this 5000, this building is under construction. So we have to apply the new rules, and if we work out, compute the FSI for this building B as per the new rules, instead of 2100, if we work out 2200, whatever it works out, that will have to be deducted. So whatever remaining area is there, that will be available for construction of building C. This you can at your ease look at the your booklets. Next. Okay, last topic is exempted from FSI. Apart from last topic is exempted from FSI. There are good addition of vertical fins. Another good addition is electrical duct and fire ducts up to 0.45 meter width are allowed, but they should not abut the habitable area. Meter room is also allowed. Next. These are the additions from the earlier DC regulations. So staircase and other things are where there earlier, those are retained in this regulation. Another welcome suggestion is that welcome addition is the refuge floor area. We had particularly had a problem as an architect when we were fitting that refuge area of 4% within 2 flats. It was not possible many times. We were going to 4.1% or 4.2%, and that additional 0.1 or 2% was we were asked to count in FSI. So now they have increased the limit of refuge area from 4% to 4.25%. So that much area will be exempted free of FSI. Then there is another addition of dome-like structure above the building. That's a canopy or crown of the building, you can say. So 2 meter, 6 meter, 9 meter, according to various height of the building. Next, please. Another addition is the 2 floor height entrance lobby. So earlier it was restricted to 7.2 meter, but if we are providing parking of 15 meter still, how can we have 7.2 meter lobby in that? That was the question. So that is addressed here. Next, please. In the feature counted in the FSI competition, there are 2 new additions, and actually this is exception to feature counted in the FSI. That is the terrace. Terraces created due to railway NOC restriction, and the terraces created above the shopping area. They are exception to what is being counted. So that is why these are free of FSI feature. Next please. Last topic is the fungible FSI. So fungible FSI, there is some changes are there and 50% rebate is given to trust building or the educational building or medical building except the private medical trust. Next please. Okay, this is the last slide and this is the commercial bonanza. So the people who are developing the commercial building, they can cheers that FSI premium has been reduced from 100% to 80%. Another thing is whatever the FSI, fungible FSI, they were getting 20% earlier. Now that limit has been enhanced to 30%, and additional 10% is to be used only for giving additional passages in the commercial building. That's all. Thank you.